Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Jay Cohn. The Billings City Council wants more time to determine if it will allow the Alberta Bear Theater to expand into the street.
Tonight, after public comment and discussion, council members are asking city engineers to take another look.
Alberta Bear had asked to expand its right-of-way north of its building to include a new landscape plaza.
Tonight, members of the community, representatives from development firm Sanderson Stewart and the Alberta Bear, and city staff discussed that design. Now, 2 years ago, Alberta Bear was granted an expanded right-of-way, but now the city denied the theater's latest permit request for a number of reasons, most notably its impact on both driving and parking lanes near the theater. A representative with Sanderson Stewart helped to explain the plaza concept tonight, focusing on the fact that it will create more space for pedestrian safety.
Overall, the expansion would take away a total of 4 parking spots along 3rd Avenue North. But after considerable discussion, the council decided to delay the final vote. A final decision is expected to come no later than December 17th.
Now, the council also heard discussion tonight on the possibility of moving all garbage collection in Billings from the alleyway to curbside.
Although that item was not on the agenda tonight, Public Works Director Dave Mumford wanted to clarify to the council that there is no immediate plan to make the change for all of the city customers, but did acknowledge the change is being considered. As for right now, Mumford says the city has been changing out many of the larger alley garbage bins to smaller bins that can be rolled to the curbs. But so far, he says that's been happening mainly in areas where garbage trucks are having much difficulty navigating the narrow alleys.
They actually have to back all the way up alleys. They're narrow, we're damaging vehicles, they're getting stuck in the wintertime. And so we're going in and trying to catch things that are actually operationally very difficult for us. We would, in the future, like to start looking at converting 300s to 90s because we can provide a better service. I mean, those people already have to put a can out in their front for the green barrel.
While there's no imminent plan to do away with all alleyway collection right now, Mumford says he's hoping the issue will be discussed in the new year.
Well, the company behind the proposed Keystone XL pipeline wants a federal judge now to change his order blocking the project to allow for pre-construction work to continue. U.S. District Judge Brian Morris has set a telephone status call for Wednesday afternoon of this week to discuss that request. Earlier this month, Judge Morris blocked TransCanada's permit for the project, ruling that the Trump administration had not fully considered the environmental effects of the proposed pipeline. TransCanada's attorneys plan to ask Judge Morris to amend his order in hopes that he will rule that his injunction does not apply to activities such as finalizing contracts, purchasing materials, or doing land surveys.
General Motors announced today it will cut close to 14,000 jobs in the U.S. and Canada and give 5 GM plants on the chopping block. GM says it's part of a massive restructuring plan to make the company more profitable. Nicole Killian reports.
News dropped on GM employees who were just coming back from the Thanksgiving holiday.
I've been here 28 years. I've been through a closure in Scarborough. I've been through a closure in London. I moved my family twice for this company. And they do this to me. It's terrible.
The companies faced slumping sales due to 6 underperforming sedans, so GM plans to stop making them by the end of next year, idling plants in Ohio, Michigan, Maryland, and Ontario, Canada. It will cost nearly 6,000 factory employees and 8,000 salaried workers their jobs. GM CEO Mary Barra says the move will save GM money and allow it to focus on what Americans want, SUVs and trucks, as well as autonomous and electric vehicles. The cuts are the largest since GM was bailed out by taxpayers during the 2008 financial crisis, and they come as steel tariffs imposed by the Trump administration have cost the automaker $1 billion. GM CEO was here at the White House Monday. Later, when speaking with reporters, President Trump made it clear that he wants her to find a way to keep the plants open.
I was very tough. I spoke with her when I heard they were closing. And I said, you know, this country's done a lot for General Motors. You better get back in there soon. That's Ohio.
The layoffs and closures are scheduled for next year. GM still has to work out a deal with the United Auto Workers Union before it can formally close a plant, and the UAW is vowing to fight. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Now, Wall Street cheered GM's plan. The price of its stock closed up nearly 5% today.
A man arrested in Bozeman on an outstanding warrant, now facing drug charges there after police allegedly found materials for making methamphetamine in his backpack. Now, according to court documents, a Bozeman police officer arrested Samuel Hubbard Sunday evening around 6 p.m. Hubbard, who had a warrant out of Madison County, then appeared in Gallatin County Justice Court this morning. He was charged with possession of dangerous drugs and operating an unlawful clandestine laboratory. Hubbard's bail set at $25,000. His next court appearance is set for December 21st.
What was first believed to have been an accidental shooting in Helena back in October is now a case of murder. Lewis and Clark County prosecutors filed charges today in the shooting death of a former Rocky Mountain College and MSUB team doctor. Now, the suspect, 62-year-old Greg Trude, faces 2 felony counts in the case. Police responded to reports of a gunshot in the former Kmart parking lot on October 21st. There they found Dr. Eugene Buzz Walton with a gunshot wound. Walton was pronounced dead at the hospital. Helena police had previously said the gun accidentally discharged when Trude attempted to retrieve his rifle from the back of the truck. Now, on his LinkedIn page, Trude lists himself as an NRA rifle and handgun instructor and a member of the National Right to Life Board of Directors.
President Trump is threatening to shut down the U.S.-Mexico border permanently. This after Sunday's clashes between migrants and Border Patrol agents.
Mola Lengi has more from the White House.
President Donald Trump has threatened to close the southwest border permanently, a day after protests by Central American migrants seeking asylum turned into chaos.
They were being rushed by some very tough people, and they used tear gas. And here's the bottom line. Nobody's coming into our country unless they come in legally.
U.S. border agents fired tear gas after nearly 500 migrants tried to illegally cross the border Sunday. Mexico says it's deporting 98 people who were involved in the clashes and is threatening to deport more. President Trump has reiterated his call to Congress to approve money for the border wall. The next government funding deadline is in less than 2 weeks, and in the past, the president has threatened to shut down the government over the wall.
This would be a very good time to do a shutdown. I don't think it's going to be necessary.
Republicans say they are currently working to get more funding for the wall, while Democrats say there's momentum for the next Congress to tackle comprehensive immigration reform.
I think Democrats in the House are serious about comprehensive immigration reform. I think we have some Republicans in the Senate, and let's see if we can do something.
Lawmakers have tried for decades, but have yet to reach an immigration deal they can pass. Mola Lengi, CBS News, the White House.
House Democrats could also be gearing up to investigate the president's deployment of more than 5,000 U.S. soldiers to the border.
Congressman Adam Smith, who could soon become the next chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, has sent a letter to the president asking for legal justification after President Trump authorized the use of deadly force at the border.
Turning to weather, Bob, a few watches and warnings for our region.
Most of it windy conditions because we have a high pressure gradient. That's where we have high pressure and low pressure. The differences create some gusty winds. Let me show you. Up there by Cutbank, we have a high wind warning there. Stays with us until 10 p.m. Tuesday for winds gusting, get this, 60 to 80 miles per hour up there in the front range of the Rockies, also by Cutbank. And also in the Beartooth Mountains, look at this. We got a wind advisory there as well. That started this evening at 6 p.m., goes until 1 a.m. Wednesday, not Tuesday, but also into Wednesday. Winds there gusting 55 to 65 miles per hour. We have some pretty good sized storms moving into the west. They're going to be coming very close to us. They may not tag us, but it's going to be like standing on the edge of the curb when a big 18-wheeler goes by. You're going to feel that gust of wind, and that's what's going to happen to us over the next couple of days. We'll have the rest of your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob.
Still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news. 16 years ago, Billings teachers traded pencils for picket lines as they protested for better pay. We'll bring you a look back.
Plus, the Curiosity rover on Mars has a friend. We'll check out the nail-biting moments leading up to history.
And later in sports, Rocky has dreams of 2 NAIA national championships this week. In a moment, we'll check in on both chases.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.